Plenty of progress is being made on Marie Drive, where trees hit several homes as Thursday's tornado tore through the neighborhood.
If you were here an hour ago, this place was just stacks and stacks of sticks, but they got the grappler out here and those guys are A1.
I love being able to help out, and when they come out and say thank you, it makes you feel really good. Yeah, definitely.
As crews for the town removed debris, Victor Masulo worked on getting a big tree out of his front yard. The tornado split it in two, and he was home when it happened.
I told my wife, her office is there, she works from home. I said, come on, let's get in the basement. And she's there, why? And I'm like, there's a tornado, let's go.
Victor's tree didn't hit the house. It fell onto his neighbor's driveway.
My dad's car got hit by a tree.
Alex was at Emery Park when the tornado warning went into effect. He found shelter at a nearby school.
We went to the door and we knocked on there and they let us in.
And because Alex loves to play outside, he's now checking his yard for nails and broken glass. He thinks the glass came from the fairground.
I've never seen something like this before, and it's just mind-boggling to see it here in the neighborhood.
Cleanup crews from the town plan on being back out here tomorrow and will spend the next couple of weeks picking up debris piles as people continue cleaning up their yards. In Hamburg, Kelly Dudzik, Channel 2 News.
It's crunch time for fireworks stands in Western New York. Their customers are scrambling at the last minute to plan their 4th of July celebrations. But they're not always exactly sure what they're allowed to buy.
Get customers all week that come in, can I buy M80s, can I buy firecrackers, can I buy bottle rockets? From what I understand, we can't sell anything that leaves the ground. We can't sell anything with a certain amount of explosion.
Austin Brown operates a TNT fireworks stand in Lockport. He has to follow strict rules from the state. 2 years ago, New York gave counties the option to legalize selling small fireworks, but those only include small sparklers and so-called novelty items.
It's interesting talking to people. Some people, they're just happy that it's legal at all, knowing with the way New York regulation usually goes. Others, they say, I'm going to just kind of skip out.
Even so, sales are strong and these tents are all over the place in Niagara County. Sandra Zizek operates another TNT fireworks stand on Transit in Lockport.
It's pretty hectic, got to be here all day. My whole family's here working, watching the stand, waiting on customers.
TNT Fireworks is here at the corner of Transit and Robinson. And how close is their nearest competition? Well, it's pretty close. It's across the street. And TNT even believes they're one of 7 fireworks stands in a 3-mile radius. But these tents are only temporary. State law requires them to come down by July 5th. And no matter how hard you try, they are not allowed to sell you the big stuff.
Got to remind them that stuff's not legal here in New York State, at least at this time. Sometimes they buy some of the other stuff, sometimes they leave unhappy.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
It's New York State laws, we have to follow them.
In Ransomville, Ferry's Nursery is trying everything, including a 50% off sale to move inventory and get water away from plants.
If the plants do sit in that puddle for very long, or lake as you may want to call it, it will be detrimental to them and they will die.
Right now everything is healthy, but time is of the essence. Owner Melissa Skorick is running 3 different pumps to help drain areas.
So we're going about 300, 400 foot up over a little knoll to get it back into a ditch that was just cleaned out last year.
A pond now 10 feet wider in all directions is encroaching on saplings.
Is there any part of you that feels helpless with this weather?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's Mother Nature. It's out of your control. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to roll with it and deal with it. If people are looking at things out here, grab some of the plants and bring the plants over to them so that they don't have to venture out here.
Skorick says the sale has brought in some more customers, but unfortunately, only the non-paying kind are benefiting from all the rain.
They've been swimming around the yard.
So they're enjoying it?
Yes, the ducks are enjoying it.
The reality, however, is that tens of thousands of dollars are at stake.
It could very easily lose a lot of stuff if it doesn't dry out.
Elsewhere, overflowing streams have flooded roads. And ponding water, going nowhere in the saturated ground, is inching ever closer to homes.
It's one thing to talk about it in a classroom, but to actually be out on the street and interact.
Last week, Buffalo police officer Patrick McDonald got a pretty routine call to the corner of Shirley and Suffolk streets. A noise complaint because of loud music.
Rolled up on scene, I talked to a couple of young ladies, and they turned the music down.
It wasn't a big deal, but then he heard someone call over to him from the street where a football game was going on.
The quarterback in the game had approached me and asked me if I play any street ball.
That quarterback's name is Albert Wolfer.
Oh, he really gonna play? It was a joke at first. He was like, oh, he really gonna play? So I was like, all right.
That's when the camera started rolling.
Where are we lining up? So I'm like, just go bomb, I got you. You know, drop back, Tyrod Taylor on and get it to him. He went bomb. He actually burnt him by a long shot, you know. And I put the ball in his lap so he couldn't drop it, you know what I mean?
It helps break down the barrier, this us versus them barrier, and at the same time, it shows that police officers empathize with the general public, and that we have a lot of common interests, football being one of them.
Pretty much everyone who was there that night came away with the same impression.
You gotta give somebody a chance, even though they got a uniform on. Sometimes that uniform is a uniform, but it's also a human being behind that uniform.
I never had a bad perception of the police. I don't really get in trouble that much. But it changed a lot of people's perception from just seeing it on Facebook. You know, Facebook is one of the biggest ways to communicate, so it changed a lot of people's perception that way. I've seen it with my own eyes, actually. You know what I mean? Over 1,000 shares, so, you know, a lot of people agree with it.
The Postal Service prides itself on delivering the mail no matter what. They'll trudge through a snowstorm in zero visibility if they have to. Yet somehow, on a clear day in Buffalo, mail carriers were unable to deliver to the Coastline building at 31 Marine Drive because roaches had taken over the lobby.
This has been ongoing for years with this bug issue. God, I mean, come on. Just because we're in public housing doesn't mean that we have to live like this.
Longtime resident Tony Gershio has reached a breaking point, so she led us inside for a tour of her building. The mail area had been cleaned up, but a few feet away, we observed bugs all over the hallway near the compact room. This appears to be the problem spot, according to BMHA Assistant Executive Director Modesto Candelario.
It seems like a pretty big deal that it got to the point where mail was temporarily suspended. And what do you say to those residents? Can you assure them that something like this isn't going to happen again?
We can assure them that we will continue to work on issues as they arise. I'm not going to guarantee that it's never going to happen because it could happen, you never know. But we are on top of it.
A half hour after our interview, Candelario drove to the building himself to inspect. He says the BMHA has been aware of the problem for a few months. They have private contractors, cleaners, and exterminators working on it.
Our staff, every time that is made aware of a situation like this, we try to hit it as hard as we can.
Signs have been posted warning people not to leave garbage out, but residents want management to fix the problem.
They need to get off their high horses, spray, do whatever you have to do, and get rid of them.
It's become kind of a science.
When Nancy Polino started volunteering at St. Luke's Mission of Mercy almost 20 years ago, the Thanksgiving meal program fed 1,500 families. Now, it feeds 2,700.
Everyone is so thankful when they get these 3 bags of groceries. They're just so thankful. If you could see them, they're just like you and I. And so I feel like a little piece of everybody who has worked on this becomes a piece of their Thanksgiving.
Saturday morning, 700 volunteers will fill St. Luke's to fill 8,100 bags with donated food to be given out next week.
Buffalo is has a poor community, you know, third or fourth poorest, always advertised everywhere in the nation. It may be poor financially, but the hearts in Buffalo are not poor. They're generous, they're open, they're rich, and willing to help each other. And I'm telling you, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing when you see it.
Students who volunteer end up coming back year after year. And for Nancy, the anticipation of watching the giving spirit of our community come alive this week is like what she experienced on Christmas Eve as a child.
The feeling is unbelievable. So right now, in the peace and quiet of the church and the beauty of the altar here, it's just so blessed. It's just a humbling feeling that I can't even describe.
Linda and Jim Ackward's house dropped to 48 degrees on Sunday. Even the dog was bundled up.
We have more layers on. Today we had hats above. My husband still has his hat on.
Yeah, we're all freezing.
They and their neighbors say NYSEG came Wednesday to remove fuses after a downed power line started a brush fire, but never came back.
You can't talk with a person, so you just have the recording. So you get your hopes up.
I spent 30 years in emergency generator and switchgear business, so I know the drill. But yeah, 5 days is a little pushing it.
I put my food in a tote outside. It's all froze, even things that shouldn't be. What are you going to do?
The area operates from well water too, so in addition to no lights and no heat, the residents of Carpenter Road and beyond had no running water.
Nothing.
They pumped buckets to be able to use the bathroom.
It's not a lot of fun, that's for sure. I could use a break from that.
NYSEG said it is aiming to have 99% of all power back on tonight, but for days this crew felt forgotten.
I know they're working hard. I appreciate that. But 5 days, maybe they just forgot that we're up here.
Poles don't come pre-made. We have to rebuild everything. That takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of crews.
2 on Your Side first reported on this neighborhood at 6. By 6:25, 2 trucks had arrived.
I am so excited I could cry right now.
That's the first truck we've seen in 5 days, so this is amazing.
Linda and Jim, who were keeping warm off of one generator-powered space heater in their living room, called to tell us the power came back on at 8.
Ben Stromecki is 12 years old and is battling brain cancer.
Changes your world, definitely. But you learn, you deal with it, and you go through what you need to do. You're supported by a lot of people, a lot of family, a lot of friends. That helps us out more than anything.
One of Ben's wishes was to take a trip on the Edward M. Cotter in Buffalo.
We've learned to focus on the positives.
Yes.
So no matter what bad stuff has come around, there's always things like this that, we have to look forward to.
Make sure you take a look at the front, pal. How neat is that?
Tuesday, Ben and his family got to take a break from all of the hospital appointments to spend some time together and make some new friends. Along with the boat's crew, firefighters from Depew, Orchard Park, and Buffalo got together to organize Tuesday's trip.
It was just something that we felt like we had to do, and we're very happy to be a small part of it.
Thank you. Jan's group already had the boat reserved for the night, and when the request came in from Orchard Park Police to grant Ben's wish, the plan came together. Jan then made it his mission to grant Ben's wish.
We never came this way, though. Papa and I did. We went up to there. We went fishing.
We were just trying to make a better journey for him. The family wanted him to be with firemen, so I guess the stars couldn't have aligned even better. So it's a great day today.
That is really cool, that helmet. That's really cool.
I know.
This trip was even more meaningful because Ben's dad is a firefighter himself with the Hillcrest Fire Company. And that's why Ben wished for this, so they could go as a family and as an extended family that includes the firefighters, even if they're just meeting for the first time.
It's incredible the way everybody pulls together. It really is. It's heartwarming.
The brotherhood with the fire service has been phenomenal for us. So it's been awesome.
Yeah.